Hey guys, it's Paradise, and if you're struggling to find a new RPG to look forward to or just to put on your radar, then you'll want to take a look at the upcoming RPG from Sandfall Interactive. When this game was first revealed, we were blown away as huge RPG fans, as it looked like a combination of some of the greatest hits from our favorite RPGs, but with a European twist. It's kind of like they mixed together the look and world of Dishonored with the combat and mechanics of Lost Odyssey, which will always be a classic in our eyes. So after the initial reveal, the team at Sandfall Games have now followed up with 6 minutes of actual gameplay, a bunch of information about the mechanics, and have given press a behind closed doors demo, meaning we have some impressions to talk about from those lucky enough to play it. The gameplay shows quite a lot, including a new area, more about how the combat works, and the beautiful presentation of the world itself. We will include the gameplay at the end of this video for your convenience if you want to watch it afterwards. A quick spoiler though, so far the general sentiment seems to be that the game is very impressive and one of the best games that the press got to see at Gamescom. With us being personally very interested in this game and knowing a lot of you love RPGs, we've read through all of the information and watched a ton of videos so we could get all of the main parts together that you need to know about this game in one video for you. So let us know what you're thinking about the game and which is your favorite turn-based RPG, as it's always interesting to know what other people like. At a top level, we know that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG with real-time elements centered around stopping a character known as the Paintress from painting death. The story is something we've known about previously, but we got to see more of it play out in the new gameplay as we see more of the expeditions. Expeditions are important here as they're a core part of the story. The story revolves around a godlike being called the Paintress, which paints a number in the sky. The number that is painted causes all members of that particular age group to just disappear, kind of like a Marvel Infinity Wars Thanos snap. As the game's title suggests, we are part of Expedition 33, which is a group that have been sent on a mission to stop the Paintress. It is a super cool and intriguing backdrop for this story, with clear motivations as they don't want the next number to be painted, but you can tell there will be plenty of mysteries to uncover and perhaps twists along the way too. This brings us onto something that the developers were showcasing in the new gameplay, and if you're a Monster Hunter fan, you will be familiar with the aesthetic. The new area, which looks incredible by the way, is the Flying Waters region, which for us, we love as it looks like a kind of updated version of the Coral Highlands from Monster Hunter World. You can really see the use of Unreal Engine 5 here, as you can see massive environments swarming with little details. It's really selling the world, and the area kind of looks underwater, although it isn't, and the PlayStation blog explains a bit more about this. It says it defies conventional physics, presenting a setting that is both underwater and not. This surrealistic approach is central to the game's design, aiming to immerse you in a world where the impossible becomes possible. Inspirations from surrealist art were woven throughout, creating a striking experience that keeps you on the edge of discovery. Each environment within Expedition 33 will offer something distinct. So it's great to hear that each environment will be unique, as we love the experience of visiting new awesome areas for the first time in new games. The devs have said that while the game isn't going to be open world, it will offer exploration for secrets to find and optional bosses to discover, which if you've played many RPGs can sometimes end up being even cooler or better than the main story bosses. The area also gives us hints to the game's darker tones, as there are some hints of past groups that met untimely ends. For example, we know that Expedition 68 perished there, and one of the things that the player will be tasked with doing is closely examining the area to piece together how they met their tragic end. However, the story and world aren't the only things that the developers are being ambitious with, as they're also trying some interesting things with the combat and various core gameplay systems. Within the gaming community, there has been discussion about turn-based versus real-time combat over the last few years. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 seems to be adding an element to that by having a very cool, real-time, turn-based combat system. This includes the tactical elements of turn-based gameplay, while also adding reactive and skill-based systems of action games. So you might be wondering, how are they going to achieve this? Well, players will be able to choose actions just like you normally would in a turn-based game. but kind of similar to Lost Odyssey, there will be various real-time QTE-style components to the combat, meaning you will need to execute attacks perfectly for additional bonuses or damage. The crazy thing here, however, is that this even extends to defending against enemies that are attacking you, as you're able to dodge and parry enemy attacks. This lets you take reduced or no damage at all, and there's additional reasons to parry, as doing so will earn you ATB or action points, meaning you can cast bigger and better actions if you become a parry god. The devs have said that because parrying exists, players good enough can actually do a completely hitless run, which is awesome to hear and not something that you commonly see in turn-based games. Supposedly, you can even beat the whole game without leveling up. Both parries and dodges will have different benefits depending on your skill level, as dodges will have a longer and more forgiving timing window that will completely evade the attack, meanwhile parries have to be more precise but completely negate the damage, and if you successfully parry a series of attacks, you will perform a massive counterattack. The real-time nature of the combat doesn't end there though, as players with certain actions or characters will allow you to freely aim to target specific parts of the enemy or the environment. For example, in a boss fight, the boss was being buffed by nearby flowers, and players could destroy these flowers in combat by free aiming at them, and this is an example of the unique mechanics that the players will have to learn, especially in boss fights, and how they can use this free aim system to aid them in battle. One of the most important things about any RPG though is of course your progression and the various characters. In Expedition 33, the devs have said that each character will have unique abilities that influence combat strategy. For example, Gustav charges his mechanical arm for powerful attacks, while Loon uses elemental affinities to exploit enemy weaknesses. In the blog they say after battle, you can level up and allocate points to various stats and customize each character's build. Skill points earned in battle can be spent to unlock new abilities in each of the character's unique skill trees. This allows for further specialization and strategic customization, and there's other progression systems that allow you to make some really crazy builds that they can't wait to reveal in future updates. So this is very exciting, and it's going to be interesting to see what each of these characters will bring to the table, especially when you start to get deeper into the game. All in all, the gameplay looks super interesting to us and is definitely at the top of our list for upcoming RPGs. The game is set to release in 2025 for consoles and PC, but for now we'll leave you with the trailer and the gameplay as we said at the start for you to enjoy so you don't have to go looking for it.
Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke, and everyone of that age vanishes into nothingness. Every year she paints again, and every year an expedition departs for the continent with one hopeless mission: destroy the paintress so she can never paint death again. We'll break the cycle so she can't steal anyone else's future.
This world is full of wonders.
Yet everywhere we go, we walk with death.
Do you mean we're the only ones left?
Even if we fail, we lay the trail for those who will come after. Right? We.
68. Elodie's expedition.
You know the commanders of every expedition.
Expedition 68. Their boat was blown into the air by a storm. Lumiere lost sight of it, but assumed they crashed on the continent.
And they survived. The storm, at least.
All right, let's keep moving. We found the weird corals. Mael must be close by.
Wait. Everyone. Looks like a different species.
Doesn't matter. They're between us and Mael.
Let us stain them.
Over there. A hut.
Slow down. We don't know what's inside yet.
This building has a certain melancholy beauty. A lone outpost of humanity nestled amongst the corals. A sailor lost at sea.
Our resident cynic is now a poet.
Wouldn't expect a Cartesian engineer to understand beauty. This should help.
Watch out!
You're right.
It only attacked when...
It's coming! En garde!
Let us stain them.
Gustav, wait! It seems peaceful. As long as we don't touch the flowers.
Yeah, let's not get too sentimental. It's still a painter's creation.
Putain! Damn, Maya, what was that?
felt familiar somehow.
Gustav, we won't understand what's going on if we kill everything that moves.
The Gestural village must be ahead.
You know what Neverons are capable of.
She'll be fine.